almost 4 years ago, we reviewed Viral.
Viral is an area control game with an interesting premise. You play as viruses infecting a human body and vying for who can control the most valuable organ zones before being cured.
Now, an expansion is available. Does it make a good game even better, or does it bog it down with too much to do? This is a snap review for Viral the Hive.
Viral the Hive is an expansion to the area control game Viral by Antonio Souza Lara and published by Meebo Games and Arcane Wonders.
The original game, which we reviewed in 2018, and we'll link to that review below, plays in about 60 to 90 minutes with 3 to 5 players. We think it's best for ages 10 and up.
It says 2 players on the box. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, Anisha, let's talk about the art in Viral.
Sure. There's only a little bit of new art in The Hive. You get a much larger close-up of your chosen virus character, which is cool, plus a powered-up super virus version.
It's gross. I wouldn't want that in my body.
It's even weirder and more gross than the original virus. There's also an additional mutation card called Basic Versatile, and it follows the same pattern as the original game.
Just as importantly, the new cards and the tokens fit the old style exactly. They will not be a distraction. It's basically going to look like they're parts of the main game.
We've already just mixed them in. It's fine.
Yeah. So let's talk about the mechanics. How does the Hive play and change things up?
The Hive adds more virus tokens, an additional starting mutation card for each player, which we already mentioned. But the real jewel here is 2 new mechanics: the Hive and asymmetric player powers.
So as part of setup, each player gets to place their Hive, attached to an organ. The Hive kind of acts like a connected organ, like an extra little organ there for the purposes of movement, but it's immune to both crises and cures.
During card selection every turn, players may infect their Hive with one of their virus tokens for free. These virus tokens then act normally and can be moved by playing cards just like any other virus. But during a player's turn, they can discard viruses from their Hive to pay the cost to flip one of their upgrade cards to that super virus side, which unlocks a special ability for the rest of the game.
So each of the 5-player viruses has different abilities which focus on different particular aspects of the game.
With the Hive expansion, Viral lasts for 5 rounds instead of the original 6. But remember you mentioned that 2-player thing?
Oh, yeah. So when you play 2-player with the expansion, there's no longer a kind of 3rd-player automata thing.
So let's talk about what we expected from this Hive expansion.
Sure. So I love Viral. I mean, this is a great game. It's a wonderful introduction to area control for a more advanced kid. It was the first area control game that our son Asher ever played, and he loved it. And we were really looking forward to a way to kind of make it feel fresh again.
The super virus art on the box was a subtle change, but we really liked it as we began to examine it.
Mm-hmm. Every virus is just a little bit different and a little bit scarier.
A little bit.
Sometimes a lot bit scarier, I guess. But what surprised us about Viral the Hive?
The first surprise in the Hive was just how much we liked those super virus abilities.
Oh, absolutely. They really made a difference in the way each of us played, since each virus focuses on a different strategy. One of them makes your movement better, one of them helps your attacks or your absorption, crises, or even just using the Hive itself. So instead of just picking a virus, because it looks different, because they were all the same in the base game, everyone actually has a preference on which virus they really use.
Our other pleasant surprise was the newly revamped 2-player game. Instead of the old automata, you just play the game as normal, but each player needs to have 2 viruses in every organ in a zone to control that zone. Much simpler, and this slight modification makes it so much easier to play. And therefore much more likely that we'll actually pull out the game to play when there's only 2 of us.
I also really like how this is the same core game with just a few well-placed adjustments. You don't have to relearn the game or have it be a different game or anything like that because the expansion changed everything. It's just well-placed changes in a couple of places. The teach for this was literally 5 minutes long, but it's so deep with all those asymmetric player powers.
So, do we recommend the Hive expansion to Viral?
Well, I mean, look, it adds exactly what we would hope it would add, a reason for players to try different play styles. It also shortens the game a little bit, and it makes it easier to play it with 2 players. Everything about the Hive makes Viral easier or more interesting. except for finding a place to put the player hives without blocking important information.
Now that we've played it a few times, I don't think we'll ever play Viral without the Hive expansion. It fixes problems that existed in the original game, and adds just the right amount of new interest without actually making it more complex. It's a great addition to an already great game. So Andrew, what do you think we should rate Viral the Hive?
Well, I think we're going to give this our best possible snap review rating. We're going to give Viral the Hive 5 out of 5 mutations.
And that's Viral the Hive
in a snap.